Alright, hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing something a bit different, so bear with me. I know last time I said that we were going to be covering Signalis in the next video, probably. I lied. So, we're doing something different. Instead, we're going to have So yeah, I thought it would be a good idea to do this type of video. It is essentially a compilation of what would have been 3 shorter videos, because I think that just makes sense for what I'm doing with Flora's Garden here. So I want to cover all the games I play, but some games are really small and/or I just don't have a lot to say on them. So every once in a while, once I've compiled enough games to do another compilation speed round thing, I will, make another one. So this episode, we're gonna be covering 3 games that I enjoyed. I liked them. I liked one a lot more than the others, to be totally honest, but it's also ironically probably the one that I have the least to say on. We are just gonna get right into it, and we're gonna get into our first game, which is Little Kitty Big City. Very cute. This game's so cute. Oh my god. Oh my god. Yeah, I love this game. I love cats. I love cats so much, so I'm very biased, but this game is so cute. It's fantastic. You just get to play as this little guy, and you're just a little guy. You're just a little kitty cat. You're a little kitty. It's perfect. So yeah, it's just a cute little game, and there's just this little open world that you get to explore around and meet other animals and cause problems. And it's great. I don't have much more to say on it. It's just great. It's really cute. It's fun. It is impressively different from the other cat game. I'm honestly kind of impressed how wildly different these 2 games are. And, my biggest complaint, there's not more of it. I'm being so serious. That is my biggest complaint with this little game. There's not more. So, yeah, big fan. Big Little Kitty Big City girly right here. That's me. So, our next game we're going to be covering is Streets of Rage 4. And just for a little bit of context, this is not a genre I really play at all. I don't play 2D beat-em-ups. I play the Yakuza games, which is kind of like a 3D beat-em-up until it was a turn-based RPG. But I don't know. I just don't really vibe with 2D beat-em-ups usually. And as a result, I have also 0 experience with the rest of this series, as you may have noticed from that big old 4 in the name. This is the 4th one. Haven't even touched the other ones. So, just for a little bit of context here. But I will say, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. I had fun with it. It was very, 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 very video game feeling video game, if that makes sense, It really felt like a video game and didn't feel like it was trying to be anything other than a video game. And I mean that as a positive, for the record. And as well, I think the art style's phenomenal. This really pretty hand-drawn art. So good. Oh my god. What? That's great. It looks great, and it's fun to play. It feels a little simple, but I might just be bad. So, do with that what you will. And it also had a really good soundtrack, which, I feel like that makes sense. That's kind of just the vibes of this game. It seems like a type of game that would have like bangers. At least to me it does. And yeah, like there's just like a couple of really good songs that I like, particularly Barbin, Trout Time, and Rising Up. But then like also like just like the whole soundtrack is really good. And like there's like dynamic music throughout the levels, which is always really fun and cool. And yeah, that's Streets of Rage 4. And finally, we have Mediterranea Inferno, which is a little visual novel game. And it's very much not what I was expecting going into it, but to be totally honest, I was mainly sold on this game because the Citizen Sleeper dev said that it was really good, and I like them, and I liked Citizen Sleeper, so I was like, sure, yeah, why not? And it was on sale, so I was like, yeah, I'll get that, why not? So, don't know what I was expecting. This wasn't quite it. I don't mean that as a bad thing. I was just, especially like the end, which it's a short game, so I don't want to spoil the end, but what the fuck? I was just getting into this for the little gay Italian boys. Interesting. Interesting things happen. It's a very surreal game, at least at points. And I think the art style also reflects that. I think it also has a really good art style. And I think it also leans well into being a visual novel, obviously. And yeah, the story is interesting. I think it's really interesting to see a game where the story is explicitly like based around the COVID lockdown pandemic. I think that's just like super interesting. Just because like a lot of media has kind of tried to just completely ignore it for reasons. And it's just interesting to see this game that is not only explicitly like set in the real world-ish, maybe? It's kind of not. It's kind of a fantasy thing. Because they like eat like magic fruits to go on mirages and experience ego death or some shit. I don't know. These messy little gay boys, they're onto something. But it's still interesting that like explicitly the COVID pandemic lockdown happened and like the characters were affected by it, and that's like kind of like a main point of the characters like issues. But yeah, it's just very interesting. And again, this game also had some really good music. Ochi da Cloro, Tormento Estivo 2022, Futura, Ferragosto, like, but yeah, it's just interesting. And like, very queer, which I also didn't exactly know going into it. I kind of should have expected it from Citizen Sleeper, but like, the main characters are 3 gay boys, and like, pretty much the only other named characters is 3 queer women. So, like, yeah. It's interesting. I don't know if I would want more of it, but it's definitely interesting. It's definitely a thinker. Definitely makes you think, you know? And yeah, that's kind of it for this speed round video. As you can see, this video's, even combining all 3 games, is still really short, and that's kind of the whole point. When I play some games, it's gonna mainly be for games that are like just short games, because there tends to be less to speak on, but even if it's a longer game and I just kind of don't have a lot to say, then we will bundle them up in these little speed rounds to make it kind of justified to release a whole video. Because I don't think I could justify releasing like 3, like maybe 2.5, 3-minute videos. That feels a little silly. So that's the deal with the speed round, and that's the deal with those 3 games. And I will see you next time. Bye!